Get to it. Show you what's going on. So far, we're giving it an A minus, you guys.
Yeah.
Now, like any good test, we start off a little bit slow. We go up to Farmington, where it's not been great. There's no doubt. 2014 in the Northwest Plateau has not been a great season for precip so far. And again, this is the really June, July, and August timeframe, back half of June, July, and August timeframes, and we're about 3/4 of an inch below average there. Meanwhile, as we get across the Roswell area, done very well here, 5.8 inches so far, 5.88 actually, and then we usually see 4.33, so inch and a half better than average there. And here in the Albuquerque metro area, very good news. We've had 4.67 so far, and we should have 2.96. So we are rolling along. We thought we'd have an above average monsoon flow. We have, for different reasons than we usually see, but we'll take it anyway. And we could see a better than average winter too. I'll get into that in just a moment. We had a nice crop of storms to our west and southwest earlier this evening. They looked good as they were heading toward the Albuquerque area, but the loss of the heat of the day is really hurt, and a lot of these storms are dissipating. So we're likely to see the clouds stick around here, and we're going to see those clouds into the early morning hours. But as far as widespread rain goes, or at least meaningful rain, doesn't look great, although there are a few sprinkles up around Santa Fe. 72 degrees here in the metro. Across the north, 60s and 70s. Down to the south, 70s and 80s at this point. Looking at the satellite and radar, we have a change in the forecast, there's no doubt. If you remember what we were dealing with yesterday, and that was a pretty good looking forecast with drawing moisture up from the south. Well, that has started to change, unfortunately. Now, here's what it looked like yesterday as we were heading into Wednesday. This is what we thought we'd be dealing with. Nice deep moisture over central portions of the state and a good chance at storms. Now the models are starting to draw in more dry air, and that's starting to play out here. So what we're concerned with is the fact that we could have some clouds around for tomorrow, but not as much widespread rain out there. I do think the east will do okay for some scattered to numerous storms. Now on the positive side, once we start drawing our little weather disturbance in here coming up on Thursday into Friday, we could bump back the showers into the scattered category across the area here. But 24 hours has made sort of a negative difference in what we're expecting for Wednesday and maybe into Thursday as well. Now we want to look out ahead and what's going on here with El Nino. We've talked a little bit about this, that El Nino looked a little shaky here, and it still does. Will it develop in the equatorial Pacific? It most likely will, to at least a weak El Nino. But there's one other thing to keep an eye on here. We're seeing well above average water temperatures from Alaska down to California. Why is that important? Well, it's important because when we tend to see a nice warm setup here in the Pacific, that tends to lead to more moisture and more storms down across the southwest. So there's a lot of positive information out there, not just El Nino, but some other factors here that are going to help to draw more storms in across the state here, likely through the winter. So just because we don't have a strong El Nino doesn't mean we're not going to have a good winter. It does still look good. 72 Pagosa Springs, 74 Durango, and 78 in Cortez. Some scattered storms for tomorrow. Not as much action across the northwest, but just spot storms here. Meanwhile, over to the southwest, isolated storms outside of the Gila. In the Gila, a little better chance at grabbing showers. Over to the southeast, if we're going to see some storms, the eastern side of the state looks a little bit better for tomorrow. Not as much dry air likely to penetrate these areas. So areas like Springer, Moore, and Las Vegas could get another crack at some storms. 79 in Taos, 78 in Santa Fe. Some scattered storms, plenty of clouds. Out into the East Mountains, we'll have our fair share of clouds from time to time and a few storms. And in the metro, not a great crop of storms for tomorrow, but we'll have a chance to get a few and some clouds around as well. And just 7-day forecasts, isolated storms Thursday, Friday. A little better crop, though, likely to roll in for Saturday.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Mark, thank you.